Today we are making 5-alarm chili. There are so many different versions of this recipe that I wanted to change the name, but I couldn't think of what I could change it to. So it's 5-alarm chili, which is fine because it has 5 different peppers in it. Start by soaking a bag of beans overnight. Then rinse and drain them and add them into a very large stock pot and add 6 cups of water. Add about a teaspoon of salt to give them some flavor because we're cooking these separately from the chili for now. Although this recipe has a lot of peppers, this is actually a medium spiced chili. It's not ridiculously hot. You'll need an onion, about 3 cloves of garlic, and 2 pounds of meat. My meat is frozen, which I need to thaw. You will also need a 28-ounce can and a 10-ounce can of crushed or diced tomatoes. Hydrate 2 chili arbols in hot water for about 30 minutes. Cut a large jalapeno and remove the seeds and the vein. You can chop these up into pretty large chunks because they're going into the blender with a can of tomatoes, the garlic, and the peppers. We're going to emulsify them into a really liquidy salsa. If you use the diced tomatoes with green chili, that adds a little extra chili into your chili. We're going to add this into a blender. Add about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, depending on the size. The jalapeno. Then add the onion. That's the secret, mashing these up real fine. Now add an ancho chili. Just add 1 for now, and then you can taste it to see if it's the right flavor for you. Actually, this is chili arbol, and they're pretty hot peppers. I'm leaving in the seeds, so it makes it pretty spicy. Then add a little bit of cilantro. See, it's very finely crushed up. You need 2 pounds of ground meat. Brown your hamburger. If your hamburger isn't lean and kind of greasy, it's good to strain out the grease and put it back in the pan. Add the 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Now add that onion, garlic, tomato glob that you just mixed in the blender. Add about 2 cups of water for now, and you can add a little more water later if needed. Add 2 tablespoons of chili powder and 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon cayenne, a teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt, and a teaspoon of sugar. And then add a tablespoon of chopped chipotles. Now stir that up and then taste it to see if you need to add a little bit more chipotle or a little more cayenne. And it all depends on, the kind of heat you like in your chili. Now we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes to cook and meld all the flavors. And then we're going to add our cooked beans. The pinto beans can take about 2 to 3 hours to get tender. So cook them in advance before you make your chili sauce. Drain the beans and add them to your chili. But if you discover that your beans are not as tender as you'd like, you can cook them a little bit longer in the chili, but then you might end up having to add some more water. Or you can just not drain your beans and just add the liquid from the beans. All right, cook this for about 30 more minutes until the beans are tender. To make it even easier, instead of cooking your beans, you can add some drained canned beans. And now we're ready to eat. You can make some cornbread, or you can just pour it over the chips like this. Add a little bit of cheese and sour cream, and there it is, 5-alarm chili. It makes a pretty big batch, so you can store it in the refrigerator and have some meals for a few days. Thanks for watching.